Flight school is really tough, but it doesn't have to break you. Here are 5 tips of surviving flight school. Let's get into it. So as soon as you start flight school, you know you gotta start learning about your checklist and memorizing all those flows in your checklist. Don't let that break you, because it may seem like it's a lot at first, but it all makes sense in the end. Here's one way that I memorize all my checklists. Checklists can feel like a million things at once. My hack to you is to break them up into chunks. Start with the first one, second one, third one. Study them with a flashcard to help me try to remember it in order. Then I will go on to the actual cockpit diagram and start doing it manually, like parking brakes, check my oil temperatures. By that's going to help you to understand the flow of the aircraft when you're doing your checklist. I recommend doing this a few times a day because it's going to help you, like, literally as soon as you go into the aircraft to be like, oh, like, I know what to do next. Oh, this is what we do next. The more you do it, the more it comes to you second nature. So I remember the days I'm like, yo, how am I going to remember all these things on this checklist? The more repetition, the more better it's going to be for you. Hack number 2. This is the one that kills a lot of people. Don't wait until the last day of your check ride to start logging and adding up all your hours. That kills people, because what happens is you do your end of course or you do your portfolio review, and some people forget that they have to add up all the hours they do throughout their training to prove to the FAA that you're qualified for your license. You need to do that ahead of time. For me, every time my page is filled, I add up all the hours that I did, all my landings, my night currencies, all of that. Trust me, you're gonna thank me when you see this video and be like, this is a great idea to start adding up all my hours while I'm going through them and flipping pages. A lot of people are going to ForeFlight, which is a great tool. I'm trying to transition to it as well because I see it's a lot more efficient than the book, but I'm still gonna try to do both, the book and ForeFlight, just a case of emergency. And rule number 1 when you're doing your logbook, do not write in pen when you're calculating your hours whatsoever. Don't. It's gonna screw you up. I promise you. Light mistake, that's gonna screw up all your hours. Always do it in pencil. Do not forget that. Hack number 3, the famous written test. FAA test bank questions. The best way to study this, I'm not sponsored by anyone, but from my previous encounters of studying for check rides and all these FAA test questions, Shepherd's Ear. I got introduced to Shepherd's Ear in my instrument training, and I wish I knew about it way before, like my private pilot. That thing is a life changer. Trust me, Shepherd's Ear, I'm not sponsored by them, I promise you, but I would just give you the best recommendations from what I've went through in my training. When you're studying for your written test, don't try to cram everything in one day. I usually study for about like 30 minutes to an hour, take a break, do what I like to do, go have fun, and then it's nighttime, I go back into it. My 4th hack to you: how to study for maneuvers. Maneuvers was really challenging for me, especially as a private pilot. I was scared to do stalls, not gonna lie. I remember every day when my instructor would be like, hey, I wanna do stalls today, I'd be like, I'm not that type of guy. Like, I just wanna fly. Like, I don't care to learn the maneuvers. Obviously now in my CFI training, I understand why it's important to learn all those maneuvers before you even say learn how to land a plane. But I just didn't wanna do it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, you just don't really want to do stalls some days, especially when it's bumpy and you just start learning how to get into the plane. Like, is it gonna break? Like, are we okay? Whatever flight manual your school has, that is how I prepared for my knowledge on the ground to prepare for maneuvers. Now, when it came into the plane, it's a different story, because obviously back then I just relied on the plane. I didn't have a simulator. And a lot of the times it was just fair, especially stalls. I'll pull back the plane all the way. It will stall, I'll full power. I'll forget to put in right rudder as hard or as aggressively as I should. And my instructor would be like, hey, you can't have the lows drift to the left. You gotta keep it there. So that was one thing that I learned throughout my training, is that you gotta be confident when you're in the plane, because you're flying. And you have to memorize all the maneuvers step by step. Not skip some and then come back to some, because your instructor's gonna be like, all right, this guy don't know what he's doing. Let's go back to the airport. Like I said, you gotta invest in yourself. If you go into this field, everything you do, it requires studying and preparation on the ground. So when you reach the airplane, you're all set. I recommend Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'll put it in the link below. The flight yokes, that's a great one with the rudder pedals on the throttle. So it's like kind of like the full setup, but it's just not full motion. But even that will just help you be prepared to do your training when you're flying. Finally, the last one, the one everyone is waiting for: how to keep the nerves calm before your check ride. Oh man, I remember the first time I did my private pilot check ride. It was like, I think in November. It was my first time. You know, you're hearing everyone's stories in your class. Yeah, like it wasn't that bad. You know, just gotta do this, you just gotta do that. But when the ball is in your hands and you really gotta do this, no, you're like, oh my God. I didn't understand the ACS full in depth at that point. I reviewed it, but I didn't fully understand what it meant to be. I was like, I'm gonna just do what my instructor told me to do, and it should work out. Thank God it did. Your ACS is actually what determines if you pass or fail. It's literally it. Literally, there's nothing else. No matter what the school develops, the school can't tell the FAA what is best. The FAA is the FAA. They determines if we do something right or do something wrong. But now I realize that, like, if I can do it all over again, I wish I know the ACS more. I know a lot of instructors like stress it, but like when you start going through your training, that's when you understand it's best you go through the ACS and remember it, all the memory items, as in the maneuvers you're expected to do. I also try to reach out to your DPE. Some might give you an update of what to expect throughout that day, and some might not. So it's all on you and all on the DPE. But don't be shy, be confident in yourself when you're doing your check ride. Everyone gets nervous before a check ride, even instructors. Even me. I just did my commercial check ride a while ago and I'm working on my certified flight instructor license. I was nervous as hell. My hack to you, breathe. I believe in God. I pray the day before. I pray the day of. Pray once I pass my oral test to help me, give me guidance on the flight. I wish for the best outcome. You've already worked your way up to this part. You should be very confident in yourself that you can do it. If you already passed all your stage checks, I highly doubt it. Like, you will be able to knock off everything with a smiley face stamped on that grade when the FAA is testing you throughout doing maneuvers. So make sure you breathe. Make sure you wear your best outfit. Feel like you're the star of the day. And then one thing to remember, go over your checklist, cross countries, and go over your last memory items that you probably don't remember. I will have note cards on me and I will have them highlighted and I'll put them in front of my stack. And I'll just review them an hour before my check ride, just in case the DP asks me those questions, I have it 100% memorized. That's how I would recommend to you from my perspective. So with that being said, those are my 5 hacks of surviving flight school. Which one are you gonna try out first? Comment down below, I would love to hear it. Or if you have some hacks as well, I would love to hear some of your hacks that you have. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more aviation tips and content like this. You'll be missing out.